Hello everyone, it is I, Christina, and today we are talking about toe point. Now, if you are like me and you come from a dance and circus background, I am going to bet that you have spent some considerable amount of time working on your toe point, the ability of the foot to go into deep plantar flexion, lowering the ball of the foot and the toes towards the floor. And that is the look that all coaches and dance instructors want to see at the end of your leg if you are working on performance quality. However, not all of us are born with natural toe point. I never had a particularly great toe point myself, so I spent a ton of time working on it. And most of that was passive stretching. So I had people standing on my feet. I used a foot stretching machine. I did a traditional toe point stretch where you kneel and lift your knee up and round your foot under. And the issue with all of these stretches is that they create a lot more passive flexibility for the feet, but they don't strengthen the feet. And as with every place else in the body, if you create a lot of passive range without the strength to control it, you end up with joints that maybe aren't lining up and functioning properly. Then you go ahead and dance on that joint because it's in your foot, and you can understand why arthritis and other foot issues might develop and why arthritis might be so common in dancers who have overstretched their feet and then jumped around on them a whole lot. So what I'm going to offer you today are some alternative ways of working on getting that aesthetic that we all want as dancers and circus performers without creating the instability and the damage to the toes and the foot itself. And the main way we want to do that is by increasing our work on the active flexibility of our feet and toes in that pointed plantar flexion. We're going to do that by laying on our backs and putting the balls of our feet up onto a low table or a chair, and then slowly lift up as we go into a shoulder bridge. And you can really feel how this makes us use our calves, the muscles through the arch of the foot, even the toes have to work here to support our body weight. And from here, you can slightly lower the heels and lift them back up. And just try to do just 5 to 10 of these to start. You can gradually increase your reps as you get stronger. As you get stronger, you can even do these single legs, picking up the opposite foot for a really wonderful burn through the foot, calf, and toe. Now, another alternative for this to really work on the toe strength itself is to substitute that chair or table for a foam roller. And in this case, you are going to grab the foam roller with your big toe, again, in that plantar flex pointed foot position, and lift the butt slightly up off the floor. And you're grabbing with that big toe to try to really hold on to the foam roller and use the muscles through the base of the toe as it goes up into the foot itself, even into the calf. And these I tend to do just as isometric. So I'm just holding this position, trying to count to 15, then 20, then 30, holding it for as long as I can and lifting the top of the foot up towards the ceiling for that deep, deep pointed sensation. I do have one suggestion if you really are excited about doing more passive stretching as well, if your feet are particularly tight and you are stable. So I don't necessarily recommend this if you're really hypermobile. And that is to do a version of the traditional kneeling stretch, but with your foot on a foam roller, or you can use a yoga block. And this is going to take the toes out of the stretch. So as you lift that knee and maybe straighten the knee a little bit, you will feel the stretch through the top of the ankle and a little bit through the top of the foot as well, but not in the toes. And that's because the toes themselves are very delicate, complicated joints, and we don't want to press and grind into those joints because that is how we can start to get degenerative issues over time, and you'll end up needing surgery like me, and I hope that you don't do that. All right, thank you so much everyone for watching. I do have more materials on feet and lower body work to come. In the meantime, if you are concerned about your feet, I highly recommend doing some of the hip workouts because a lot of issues with the feet also come from instability and imbalances in the hips. So keep your feet loved Give them lots of attention, walk barefoot whenever you can, and above all, happy bendings.